Let's head a long way north from Nelson to Taranaki. The residents of about 30 properties at East Beach in Waitara are being asked to stay away from their homes ahead of the high tide at about midnight. Fire and emergency evacuated the Taranaki settlement shortly before midday as fears grew that a combination of this king tide and storm surges would inundate properties. Our Taranaki Whanganui reporter Robin Martin was on the ground at East Beach.
Waitara Fire Chief Dennis Crow says fire and emergency were called in by concerned residents mid-morning, and soon after his staff went door to door advising people to get out. He says the situation was quite perilous.
Can you describe the situation around the corner?
Oh, it's very close. The sea's pounding right up, very close to the towards the houses, and we're just making sure that nobody's in there if it does come through.
Mr. Crow says he was particularly concerned about people being trapped in their homes during the night.
We're just looking at evacuating them over the next two high tides because this weather's going to be around for most of the night.
Waitokurangi Tito and her husband Ray couldn't bring themselves to leave this morning.
Tell me what it's been like here this morning.
Absolutely scary, but not wanting to move from what's ours. You know, we just wanted to stay put. People have been in and offered us places to go to, but somehow we just couldn't face leaving the house to the treacherous sea.
Mrs. Tito says the couple will move out tonight after watching the seas raging at the back fence over lunchtime. She fears being in the house overnight.
It's quite scary being on your own at night, and you lie in bed and you're listening to the rolling waves, and you think, well, last night I was up until 2 o'clock, and you think, is it going to come over the fence?
Joelle Rice was busy rescuing family heirlooms.
So what are you doing here?
So this is my grandmother's house. My cousins live here, and we're just here picking up all of her photos, and we're picking up her urn because we don't want to come back and find the house ransacked or anything like that, and find that we can't have any of our photos, and so we're here picking up all of our sentimental things.
Waitara Community Board member Trevor Dudunsky reckoned the East Beach residents had been lucky.
We escaped a big bullet, and I mean a massive bullet. When I came down here around about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, the waves were as far as the eyes could see. I was concerned for all the safety of the residents along here.
Mr. Dudunsky wants to see a seawall built at East Beach, a point echoed by Leo Carroll, who was helping residents safeguard their possessions.
The council needs to build up the wall along here, you know, and they need to do something about the groin, because even when it's not like this, the water's coming in and it's eroding all the side of the bank here, right next to the houses. So the council need to fix it. They stuffed it in the first place.
The New Plymouth District Council has a policy of only protecting significant public assets from storm surges and erosion. Some roads had to close ahead of the high tide, there were high wind warnings, and a tree had come down on a house. Powerco says at 4 p.m. about 500 homes were without power in Stratford, New Plymouth and Bell Block. Ina motu mo te hōtaka o te ahiahi, ko Robin Martin tēnei.